So with us laying back, just nice and easy, our first goal is to give permission for our muscles to just relax. Try to put your arms in a way that allows the breath to just flow really deep, really easy. And those inhales and exhales fill our lungs, fill our body. We'll start off with a little image that will carry us into class. The image is something that we can leave in the back of the mind just to kind of be a helpful aid for us as we take our journey through our class today. So the image we're taking on is the image of Atlas. He's in Greek mythology. He's the one who has to carry the world on his shoulders. And if you see statues of Atlas, he takes on a very hunched forward position because the world is extremely heavy. And so if you're almost like a little yoga spy person, you're looking around at people as they're just going through their life, you'll find a lot of people who take on that same hunched forward posture. And to me, oftentimes that just immediately tells me, oh, they're putting a lot of weight on their shoulders right now. They've got a lot going on that they're trying to balance. And oftentimes that happens to us too, whether or not we want that to be the case. We have a lot that's on our plate. And so the goal of today's class is to help stretch things to make it feel like we don't have to hold everything up quite so tense. To help our body realize, okay, I can just naturally take on a relaxed state. I don't have to be quite so weighted down. All I have to do is just be in this present moment and just take the next step forward in my life, whatever that is. And so that image, let it rest in the back of your mind. Maybe there will be a little bit of intuitive guidance of how we can continue to not be Atlas so much. So with that idea to help lead us on, let's begin some nice initial stretches for the body. Take the arms all the way stretching to the back wall, and swing the arms over to the right. Swing the arms over to the left. Take a good couple of cycles each direction. Good. Coming back through the center. Let's start to take our hands around the right knee. Pull that right knee into the chest. Oftentimes we'll do a few nice little ankle rolls there. And then let the leg go up to sky when you're ready. First, nice stretch for the hamstring area. If you can reach the fingers around the ball of the foot, even let the ball of the foot push into the hand so that shoulder is getting a first little stretch there. Kind of pulling that shoulder forward out of its socket into a good length. Another good inhale there. Exhale, we'll take this right foot, hook it onto the back left end. So just hooking it up, setting up for a nice little hip stretch. Once you've got the foot hooked, if the knee is okay with going deeper, slide that shin in a bit closer to the chest. Give that hip a nice couple of breaths. I love this passive stretch. All we have to do is just lay. Doing another beautiful inhale. Exhale, let's start to breathe the leg out. A little stretch up to sky. And then drop the leg all the way down. When it's resting, take left knee into the chest, a good hug, a couple of ankle rolls perhaps. Leg up to sky if you're ready. That huge stretch for hamstring. Maybe you're doing that little trick where you put the fingers around the ball of the foot and then start to push the foot into the arm, letting that arm get lifted out into the stretch. And when you're ready, hook that left heel on the back right side. Slide the shin in. We've got that passive hip opener. You're enjoying a beautiful inhale. Exhale, free up the leg, maybe give it another little tug, stretch up the sky. And drop it down when you're ready. Let's leave our legs inside for a moment. Hands grip onto the fabric to help our torso sit up. And then arms start to continue to stretch forward toward the toes. Leave the right hand gripping. Left hand is going to do 3 nice circles. The left hand circles up to sky and then all the way to that back wall. Return back up to sky and release forward. At your own pace, 2 more like that. Same with the left hand. Then switch it off to the right arm, doing the 3 rotations like that. Good. When you finish all 3, just let the spine have another couple of breaths to release. If the head can be weighted heavy down, let it stretch through the back of the neck that way. As the head comes up, let's start to kick our feet off the front. And let's take our first inversion today. Inversions are an amazing way to reverse that Atlas syndrome, giving so much more space in between our discs. So for this first one, take your thumbs and hook it on this back end of the fabric. For me, the comfortable spot is right about my pant line. Others go higher, some go lower, but for me, that's that perfect spot. So try it at that pant line and then lean about halfway back before you get it back on. Okay, so the fabric's locked down at that waist area. So last step to get to the inversion, as you continue to tilt back, your legs need to go wide. That wide means that you don't fall out. And then wrapping the feet around the fabric makes it safe enough to release the arms. Good, so if you don't like where the fabric is at, feel free to come on out, readjust. There's usually one spot where it feels just right, feels perfect. So keep on adjusting if you didn't quite make it there the first try. I like to give lots of time for the inversions. We'll kind of find the general consensus of class, but knowing that, don't feel like you have to be upside down more than your body tells you it's good for you.
And my comfortable.
That's okay, keep on exploring, here. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, for me, lower is more comfortable than higher. It does do a little massage on that back part of the low back area, but
I'll do that.
yeah.
Yep, that's much better.
Never want anybody to feel rushed out of inversions, because that's one of the big reasons people come to aerials. So if you're still upside down, keep on enjoying it. You just got up, hook your elbows, and just let those shoulders drop forward. They're floating in child pose. Just feel those back muscles have that nice kind stretch. Right there, and then your legs right out. So if you've been out for a little while, take a few nice neck stretches. Let the right ear go clear to the right shoulder. And roll that chin down to chest, curling the head in as much as possible. And then roll the left ear to left shoulder. Roll chin back down into chest. Good. So sitting back up, you're going to take another little twist. With this one, bunch up the fabric that's closer to the backboard. Your shoulder that opens up toward the back wall, those mountains, let that arm open up. You could even circle that hand around the back side of the head. So whatever feels good. We're not trying to force the discs past what they want to do, but think of the muscles instead. So how much can I let the belly button twist with me? How much can I let that shoulder open? Maybe even the neck. How much can I turn the neck to that back wall? Good. Releasing, let's take it to the second side. Bunch up the fabric. Let the back shoulder opens, either to reach the back wall or to circle around. And shoulder, the belly button. Good inhale. Exhale, release from the twist. Find the side of the fabric that will face you into the center of the room toward me. And then bunch up that end of the fabric. Once you've got it bunched out, walk your arm straight. The hip that just got lifted, that leg needs to swing all the way up and over. It gets more comfortable the more you do it, just know. Okay. And so from here, your leg that's closer to the mirror, let's take that shin up as the fabric that's in front of us. It's a nice hip stretch. If it's too intense, you'll walk your arms straight. That'll take some intensity out. If you want more, release the arms, even maybe giving a hug to try to pull the shin in deeper. We'll go into the hamstring here. So take the arch of that bottom foot. You're gonna start to straighten the leg up once the arch gathers the fabric. Again, keeping the arm here makes it less intense on the hamstring. Trying to back the hand away makes it deeper. So just listen to your body to know that perfect amount. It's not too much, not too little. You're enjoying a good inhale. Exhale, the leg that's up, drop it down. Second shin makes its way up. The same thing for the hip part. Maybe the arms lock straight. Maybe you're hugging in to make it deeper. To bunch up the fabric, place the arch of the foot onto it, and see how much the leg wants to straighten upward here. Good. I usually like to have toes turned out, because for me that rotation feels a little more natural than that. Enjoying a nice inhale. Exhale, drop the leg back down. We're going to take both heels inside and then straighten both legs out wide. A nice wide straddle position. I'll usually have my hands on the outer fabric so that my arm strength can help the legs stretch even wider. Try to engage your
Nice.
Yeah. Try to engage your core to sit up nice and tall. Good. So trying to leave the legs this wide. Slide the right hand down the right leg. Left hand is going to come up and over. So the leg that wants to be lazy is that left one. It wants to just kind of swivel in. So keep it active, trying to splay open. Beautiful. So sitting up, start to switch sides, left hand down, left leg. Keep the right shoulder open rather than just kind of collapsing it forward. Try to keep that shoulder stacked. Remember to keep that right leg a little bit engaged, just so the leg's still kind of trying to spread open. Good. Rising up. Bring the bottoms of feet to touch together. Like we're in a little meditative cocoon position. And so from here, let's purposely take just a very small version of cat-cow. So purposely try to round the spine backwards into the fabric behind you. Then try to straighten up and arch the heart forward just a hair. Good. Just a couple of rounds of that, rounding, and then arching. See if you can include the hips. That arch kind of initiates from the hips. Good, maybe one more cycle. And then just a few breaths to relax right here. One of my favorite spots. Like sometimes I just want to like sit and curl up and meditate like this. Just enjoy a few breaths to help the body know that, you know, I'm supporting you. We're here to work together. And here I am in this present moment. Beautiful. So where we'll go next starts with our feet falling off of each end of the fabric. Again, we're back to dangling at the knees. And this time, we're gonna try to take both legs up onto the fabric in front of us at the same time. So I usually like to take one hand, like a stop sign, and then push directly into the fabric in front of my face. That kind of helps me find the center. So then the opposite foot from the hand that you chose, I grab that opposite foot and place it exactly where my hand is. Once I've got one foot in, then you just have to take the second foot next to the first. And then to the ability that your back and your hamstrings have to straighten, start to let your legs begin to go up. Good long stretch up to sky. And obviously bend the knees a little bit if needed to make this easier. This is helping to stretch hips, it's helping to stretch that back. Sometimes I'll even kind of clasp my hands together behind me to kind of pull into a nice shoulder stretch also. So if you want to include that, that's fine. Not necessary. Only if you like it. So from here, we'll take it into cobbler's pose. Bottoms of feet rotate a touch, knees go out to each side, and you choose how deep in you want to slide the heels. Enjoy another good breath, flowing in, flowing out. And then we'll try to let both legs free their way out to the mirror side. Your hips will be off center, so kind of shift left to right, left, right, left, right, and face all the way forward. And once you're forward, let's play with our vampire pose. So this one's a lot of people's favorite inversion. If you know vampire, feel free to go right into it. If it's your first time, feel free to watch first and then I'll guide you again. What we do is we take this fabric that's behind us and we cover it over our shoulders like a cape. You need to completely cover it. I use my elbows to push all the excess down to my waist and then I lay back so I have some extra down up at my waist right now. So what I do is I need to take all that extra to my feet. So when I step my feet in, I lift my hips up, and then when I straighten my legs, I've shifted all that excess down. So now I've got that perfect covering. It's over my shoulder. I don't have any excess here. So then all I have to do is grip one hand on each side. I'm gathering up some of the fabric because when I put my feet up, that's what I push my feet into. So I'm on the inside and I'm pushing out. From there, all I have to do is just rise and say, so it's called vampire pose. It's such a nice one because it gives the shoulders the weight of your whole body to help massage those shoulders. Okay, so sitting up, a nice cape over your shoulders. The elbows push all the excess down to the waist. So you should have just enough to cover shoulders, not a ton of extra, otherwise it'll kind of push on your neck. Good, so when you got that excess at your waist, step the feet in, lift the hips up to straighten out. Looks awesome. If you need to do 2 shifts, you just step the feet in again and then do it again. Good. Hands grip up, gathering a little bit of fabric from each side. And then when the feet come up, that spot that you gathered up, that's what you push into to rise. That's okay, so your feet kind of split inside, that's okay. A little trick that I'll do is I'll kind of turn my toes out to keep it locked on that back spot. Yeah, so that little notch right after your heel ends, that's kind of what you put in it. So good, so you push out, turn the toes out to lock it, and then you just push. I know, sometimes at first it takes a try or two, it's okay. Oh yeah, yeah, maybe you have a team that really just not to cover. So this actually doesn't do that. What I'm seeing is that your legs, what you're doing is you're trying to wrap around. What I want you to do is just leave it here and like push out. Yeah. Yeah. And then you can rise. Yeah, you can rise. Much better. Yeah. Much better. And you're just looking at the top, so you're bringing it back in. You're getting it started. Especially not this. I don't want. Yeah. Awesome. Kind of fun, huh? Like being a little kid again. Those that want to be upside down a bit longer, that's fine. If you're coming out, you can either take a Shavasana for a little while, or at some point transition back to that floating child. No rush. Doing good. The body takes a little bit of time to come out of inversion. So it's kind of like that sensation if you like lift your head up too soon and you feel like you're about to black out, that's what we're trying to prevent. And so the idea is you're taking this recovery as long as you need for your body to know that it's safe to be back up. When you start to feel like, yeah, I think I'm good, I think I'm ready, then you'll start to come back up to the seated position, the feet straight off the front. But don't feel rushed into that. You can always take longer than others. Good. Enjoy maybe another 2 or 3 good breaths. So then the way that we head out, you can tell the feet don't touch the ground, so there's a little chance of face diving if you try to just dive forward. So instead we grip on and then just lift the hips right up and out. Okay. We're gonna do some nice little hip circles. So what we want to do is take the fabric right under our shoulder blades. If it's up right under armpits, that kind of has a tendency to cut off the blood sooner than we need to. So right under shoulder blades is usually pretty good. You'll walk back to take all the slack out of the fabric. And then from here, walk yourself back up just to the point where feet are under palm line. So it's kind of like that shadow line that goes across the room. Right about that spot. I usually like to have feet nice and wide. And then I'll show you one cycle. What we're gonna do is circle the hips around like a huge hula hoop. Okay, so we're gonna more or less try to stay together just so you three don't bump. But let's go over to the front door first. So circle around and back. Good, let's repeat 4, 3, 2, 1, and pause. Good. Let's go to the back door. Ready, go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. As you pause back, take a nice little back bend so the arms can drop down. Just take a nice little arch. Good. Head up when you're ready, and then just walk your feet backwards to come to stand. Let's take the fabric out in front of us. Kind of fun. Okay, and I like to grip on usually a little bit wider than shoulders, and then start to let the upper body go forward. So sometimes what I'll do here is cat-cow, kind of letting those muscles of the back undulate up and down. Other times I just want to do a little bit of swaying left and right. So it's up to you, whatever feels helpful for your tight spots of the back. Give it just a little bit of time. Whatever we're doing, let's take one more good inhale. Exhale. Bend our knees and roll our spine all the way back up. Good. Let's take our right thigh all the way inside. We don't want to be standing too far behind the palm line, so usually just a couple of inches when you gaze up. And then flat hands high, thumbs hug around. Start to sink your weight forward. This has a tendency either to stretch the front of the left hip or to get that back calf. So depending on what you're really wanting to focus on, you've got some options. Good, let's try to take a spinal twist from here. So take the left wrist and hook it on that right thigh. Also bump that left shoulder into the fabric. Your top hand stays up high and just push into the fabric. That'll let your spine spiral. Not forcing anything too much, just enough to feel good. Good. Top hand grips. Unwind your spine. From here, take your weight back. Front leg. We take the fabric down to the ankle. Once you're here, you've got two options. Either slide the hands down. That one's a really good one to just ease into the hamstring. You could also slide the hands up to take more of a splits action forward. Whatever feels like it's more helpful for your tight spots today. Take your weight back over your standing legs. We're gonna switch sides. You can either step this foot out, step the other foot in, or the swinging switch. You need to leave the leg that's in the fabric straight, and then just step one foot in, one foot out. Nothing wrong with that. You'll get plenty of time to play with it. Yeah. It's all good. So eventually we end up with left thigh in. So when you're there, hands high, thumbs hug around. Let's start to sink our weight forward. Maybe you're dropping the back heel back if you're wanting calf. Maybe you're just easing the hips forward. Let's take the twist. So right wrist hooks this time. And take the right shoulder inside. The top hand, just let it slide up and then gentle push it. Grip on for safety as we come out. And then weight over our standing leg, slip down to the ankle. You got that option, either slide down or slide up to splits. Another good inhale. Exhale, weight back. Take the leg out. And we're gonna go for a hip hang. So fabric, we take the fabric in front of us right up to our hip bones. If it gets in the flesh, it's much more uncomfortable. So kind of push it down right into the bones, even come up to tippy toes if you need to. I usually like to step forward just a hair, so it's easy to take my slack out. Leaning forward, I drop my thumbs down. And then several steps back will make it so we don't swing when we lift with our feet. Good. This is down dog. This is an easy place because the pressure across the hips, that massage we get, isn't too intense. If you want to try the hip hang, the start inversion, we start to lift up our toes. The knees stay bent down though. And maybe hands hug around the shins. Rolls apply as any inversion. Some people are just gonna naturally be here longer than others, so don't feel like you're rushed out. Those that massage start to get intense, you're welcome to start easing your way up. You would step the feet on the floor until they're flat, roll up. And eventually when you're up, you'll get the fabric behind you. But again, no rush. Those that are still enjoying being upside down, sit. Slow rolling and fabric behind. Good. So that massage we get with Ariel gets better and better. It's like if you do rolling and it just, the fascia is so tight the first couple of times. That's what this helps out with so much. But a little stretch we can do to help that area. We just got good. Let's take our hands behind the back of the head. And as we bend our right knee, let your body sway laterally to the right. So it's like we're trying to get that elbow to the knee. And feel that whole side. When you're ready to switch, you straighten out the right knee, then to the left, and sway to the left. So you could go fast, you could go slow. Whatever feels helpful. So when that starts to feel pretty good through the legs, let's walk our feet back to stand up. And we'll take the fabric out in front of us again. Taking the right thigh back in. I'm going to take just a brief moment to take warrior one again. That should feel like another good stretch to the front of the hip. And this time, bump the hands over to the left strand and then rotate your toes. Go back, toes down. Good. Opening up the arms, perhaps, maybe just one arm, maybe both to warrior two. Pushing that tricep into the fabric. And hands drift on, squeezing our thighs together. Slip down to the ankle, and this will be more of a side flip. So gripping still just onto the left strand, slide the right hand down, left hand up. If you want to transfer more weight forward, you choose how much goes up. Squeezing in our thighs together. We're going to keep the right hand on that left strand. Do one more 90 degrees, turn the face to back wall, you'll bend the knee down. Good. Once you're there, our goal is to try to find hands on the floor. So sometimes people don't have balance and you can just get there. Sometimes you kind of have to make it slow or use the wall. But when you have the hands down, you'll drop down onto that left knee. You've got two options. Either work on just lifting that left knee up and down a couple of times, working the core, or step up 2 feet in the fabric, bend the knees in, straighten out. So how's an inhales? And choose how long to keep going. When you're ready to be out, it'll be pigeon pose. So that left toes swivel to the left and lower down to elbow. Come up to hands, drop the knee out. A cat-cow, or just kind of shifting the hips around for a moment just to recover. Good. Perhaps we use the fabric to help us come up. So gripping on, plant your feet, do a couple little just bonus pull-ups, helping your arm shrink the hair. Knee up when you're ready. Good. So left thigh in when you're there. Hands up high, thumbs wrap around, warrior one, sink forward. Both hands grab to right side. Back heel drops down. We rotated our hips up in warrior two. Maybe one arm goes forward. Maybe one arm goes back. Good. Hands grab on. Squeezing our thighs together to come back. Flip down to ankle. From this further right strand, right hand goes up, left hand goes down. Maybe more weight goes forward. It's up to you. Good. Another inhale. Exhale, come back. Left hand stays on that same strand. Turn your toes, one more 90-degree turn, bend the knee down. When your balance is there, drop hands to floor and right knee down. Okay, so same options. Maybe we're working that knee up and down off the floor, working the core that way, or maybe we step in, knees in, straighten back out to going until you feel ready for right side down. More inhale. Exhale. Take the leg out. The hands are taking a little recovery cat cow or this hip shakes. When it feels pretty good, maybe a couple of those little modified pull-ups. Beautiful. You're doing awesome. Okay, so and as we're wrapping up class, let's get some of our last spots around the shoulders, helping them out. So come and clear up to the top end of the fabric. And then turn around to face it, wave it out, just like we began. As we face forward, let's flip our elbows inside. You want the elbows to be at least 90 degrees or higher. So at least shoulder height. Some people just walk forward until the elbows get pulled back. Some people do more of a lunge, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. So it just depends on what exact arrangement helps you out. We'll take a few breaths on this side. We'll take a break before we do the second direction. So one more good inhale. Exhale, take a break for a moment, slide the elbows in, let the head do a semicircle to each direction, rolling ear from one shoulder to the other. Good, and then I'll take it one more time, slide your hands back up, either walk forward or take the second lunge foot forward. Beautiful inhale. Exhale. Back out of it. We're flipping our grip so thumb stays inside, fingers are outside. Still plenty far in front so we don't grip too much. Take about your 5 grips or so. Once you've got 5, come under plumb line, rise up to tippy toes, come on in. And we'll take a little back bend before we completely wrap up. So leaving the legs dangling down, let's grab onto the back end of the fabric and then just slide down to the back bend that you like. It's different for everybody. So some people will keep the grip high, some people slide lower, some people even release hands altogether or grab onto the feet. So it's up to you, whatever type of a back bend feels really helpful. You also choose how long your back wants the back. Stay until you feel satisfied, at which point take a forward fold until you're ready for your Shavasana. Sooner or later. Love having wrapped up with that huge arch backward because that's kind of the exact opposite of that atlas. That rounded forward shape, we got our back giving it a chance to open so nice. So again, just take that forward fold as long as the vertebrae need to kind of balance out. And then just head back to your Shavasana, feet in, head in. Just comfortable laying all the way back. Starting to deepen the inhales. And the exhales. Start to introduce movements back to fingers and toes. Ankles and wrists. Stretching out like we're waking up first thing in the morning. You're letting those shoulders go left and right a few times. Sometimes people will take fetal position, so you keep the body long, but you roll up over onto one hip. So one hip is on top of the other. And then from there, start to curl in like a tight little ball. And then arc the whole spine back. I'll usually take 2, 3, maybe 4 on one side. And then I'll switch over to the other side to help my body stay in balance. When you feel pretty balanced, we'll come up to sit. Hands together in front of the heart. We reconnect to that idea of realizing we don't have to be the one to hold up the whole weight of the world. All we have to do is just be in this moment. Just take our next step forward. And so with this ease, this releasing of that weight right off of us to lead us on, let's wrap up the time we shared together this fun class. The sound of Om. You can hum that. May we be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.
Namaste.